Hello, grade 6. Welcome back to our online class. This is Sir Jubes, Sir Jubani again. And in this video, we're going to talk about dividing fractions. Let's start with dividing a fraction by a whole number. Problem number 1. Share 3/4 of a pie equally among 3 children. What fraction of the pie does each child receive? In solving word problems, you have to understand first what the problem is telling you about and look for some keywords. The keywords will tell you whether you are going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide in order to get the correct answer. And since our topic for today is about division, so more or less, we're going to divide numbers. So I'm going to use models or figures or objects in order for us to be able to visualize the given problem. So we have here 3/4 of a pie. So there should be a pie, and that pie should be divided into 4 equal parts. The denominator of a fraction will tell you how many equal parts a whole is divided into. So in this problem, 3/4, we have to divide the pie, the whole, into 4 equal parts, and we're going to shade 3 parts of them. Okay, so this is 3/4, and this 3/4 of a pie is being shared equally among 3 children. So one child receive what fraction of the whole pie? One child gets 1/4 of the whole pie. So 1/4 is our answer. And notice also that, okay, by the way, we have here 3/4 divided by 3. 3/4 of a pie is divided into 3 children. And notice that this portion, one portion here, is just 1/3 of 3/4. This is just 1/3 of 3/4. This whole thing is 3/4, and the 3/4 is divided into 3 equal parts. That's why we have here 1/3 of 3/4. And 1/3 of 3/4 is the same as 1/3 times 3/4. We can now cancel out 3. So our answer is 1/4. That's why 3/4 divided by 3 is 1/4. This is going to be our method number 1. What do you think is our method number 2? Our method number 2 is, we have here 3/4 divided by 3 equals, remember, in multiplying numbers, we don't care about the order of the numbers being multiplied. What I mean is 1/3 times 3/4 is the same as 3/4 times 1/3. Again, 1/3 times 3/4 is the same as 3/4 times 1/3. And this will still give you the same answer, which is 1/4. Okay? Each child gets 1/4 of the pie. You can either use models like this, use method 1, or use method number 2. Let's have item number 2. 3 children shared 1/2 of a cake equally. What fraction of the cake did each child receive? 3 children shared 1/2 of a cake equally. In other words, 1/2 of a cake is divided into 3 because there are 3 children. So first, let's have a whole divided into 2 equal parts, just like this. And then we have to divide 1/2, the shaded portion, into 3 equal parts because there are 3 children. Okay? Therefore, each child received what portion of the whole cake? This portion is 1/6 of the whole cake. Therefore, each child receive 1/6 of the cake. Again, we have here 1/2 divided by 3, and this is the same as 1/3 of 1/2. How did I get 1/3 of 1/2? This is your 1/2. And this 1/2 is divided into 3 equal parts, which means that one part is 1/3 of 1/2. That's why we have here 1/3 of 1/2. And 1/3 of 1/2 is translated to 1/3 times 1/2. This is equal to 1/6. When you multiply fractions, make sure to cancel out common factors between the numerator and the denominator first before you multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. We have here 1 times 1, 1, 3 times 2, 6. That's why our answer here is 1/6. Again, this is our method number 1. And method number 2 is we have 1/2 divided by 3 equals 1/2 times 1/3, because 1/3 times 1/2 is the same as 1/2 times 1/3, and this is equal to 1/6. Okay? In other words, when you divide a fraction by 3, that is the same as multiplying that fraction by 1/3. Again, when you divide a fraction by 3, that is the same as multiplying that same fraction by 1/3. Problem number 3. 4/5 of a fruit tart was shared equally between 2 girls. What fraction of the fruit tart did each girl receive? The problem is still talking about sharing, which means we're going to divide numbers. Okay, there is a fruit tart, and the fruit tart should be divided into 5 equal parts because the denominator of this fraction is 5, and we're going to shade 4 of them, just like here. And then we're going to divide the shaded portions into 2. It means that one girl will receive 2 parts. And remember that 2 parts is the same as 2/5 or 2/5 of the whole thing. Therefore, each girl received 2/5 of the fruit tart. And let's have our method number 1, because we cannot always draw models in order to solve this kind of problem. Let's have method number 1. 4/5 is divided by 2. And remember that this portion is just 1/2 of 4/5, right? You have to be able to recognize that this is 1/2 of 4/5. This is the other half of 4/5. And 1/2 of 4/5 is translated to 1/2 times 4/5. We can cancel out 2 and 4. You still have here 2. Multiply 1 and 2 in the numerators. We have 2 over, your denominator is 5. That's why your answer is 2/5. And our method number 2, we have 4/5 divided by 2. This is the same as 4/5 times 1/2. Because when you divide a fraction by 2, that is the same as multiplying that fraction by 1/2. Or 1/2 times 4/5 is the same as 4/5 times 1/2. Cancel out 4 and 2, you have here 2. So the numerator is 2 times 1, that is 2. And the denominator is 5. So our answer again is 2/5. Next, let's have dividing by a proper fraction. Our divisor this time is no longer a whole number, but a proper fraction. By the way, when we say proper fraction, the numerator is always less than the denominator. Just like 1/2, 3/4, 4/5, and so on. Let's have problem number 1. Lily cut a pizza into equal pieces. Lily cut a pizza into equal pieces. Each piece was 1/3 of the pizza. How many equal pieces did Lily cut the pizza into? So there's a pizza, and the pizza is being cut into equal pieces. What you know about the pieces is that one piece is 1/3 of the whole thing, which gives us an idea that the pizza should be divided into 3 equal parts in order to get 1/3. Okay? So the question here is how many thirds in this whole? How many 1/3s are there in one whole pizza? And there are how many 1/3s? 1, 2, 3. There are 3/3 in the whole pizza. Therefore, Lily cut the pizza into 3 equal pieces. Okay? Or we have here one whole pizza divided by 1/3, because we want to know how many thirds there are in one whole, and this is equal to 3 based on our finding. Okay, 1 divided by 1/3 is equal to 3. When you divide 1 by 1/3, it's the same as finding out how many thirds there are in one whole, and that is 3. Number 2, Roy cut 2 identical cakes into equal pieces. Each piece was 1/4 of a cake. How many equal pieces did he cut the 2 cakes into? So we have 2 identical cakes, and each cake is being cut into equal pieces. What we know about here is each piece is 1/4 of one cake. It means we're going to divide each cake into 4 equal parts. So we have something like this. So the question here is how many equal pieces did he cut the 2 cakes into? Or how many 1/4s, how many quarters are there in 2 wholes? So we're just going to simply count the number of 1/4s or quarters in 2 wholes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 equal pieces. There are 8 quarters in 2 wholes. Or we have 2 identical cakes. We are going to divide this by 1/4 because we want to know the number of equal parts these 2 wholes are divided into. And when you divide a whole or a number by 1/4, that is the same as multiplying by 4. And our answer here is 8. Okay, take note of this. Dividing by 1/4 is the same as multiplying by 4. Therefore, 2 divided by 1/4 is the same as 2 times 1/4, which is equal to 8. Number 3, what is 6 divided by 3/5? Or how many 3/5 are there in 6 wholes? How many 3/5 are there in 6 wholes? First, we must have 6 wholes. There are 6 wholes here, and each whole should be divided into 5 equal parts because we want to know, or we want to divide the 6 wholes into or by 3/5. Okay? So this is 3/5. This is, by the way, this is 1/5. And if you have 3 parts, that's already 3/5. And we have another set of 3/5. 3/5, 3/5, and so on. So if we're just going to look at the model and count the number of 3/5 there are in 6 holes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 3/5. So by just looking at this model, I can I can say that 6 divided by 3/5 is equal to 10. Right? But we have to also solve this problem using the usual method that we do in class. Right? Look at this. Up to here, I can say that the number of 3/5, okay, number of 3/5 in how many holes do I have so far? I have here 3 holes. 3 holes. There are how many 3/5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/5. And I want to know the number of 3/5 in one hole. So if I'm going to look for one hole, I'm just going to divide 3/5 by 3. And since there are 6 holes in the given, so I'm going to look for 6 holes, and to get the number of 6 holes, the number of 3/5 in 6 holes, I'm just going to multiply 6 by 5/3. And this will give us what? 6 times 5/3 is the same as 6/1 times 5/3. You can cancel 6 and 3 out. You have here 2 on top. 2 times 5 is 10. That's why 6 divided by 3/5 is the same as 10. Or 6 divided by 3/5 is equal to 6 times 5/3. How did I get 5/3? Dividing 3/5 is the same as multiplying by 5/3. You should be able to notice this. It's not just about switching the numerator and the denominator, and then you change the division sign to multiplication sign. You have to understand why is it like that? Why is that so? And this is equal to 10. Item number 4, what is 5 divided by 2/3? If we're going to use our finding in the previous item, 5 divided by 2/3, when you divide a number by 2/3, that is the same as multiplying that number by 3/2. It should be something like this. And 5 is the same as 5/1. There's nothing to cancel out between the numerator and the denominator. Multiply 5 and 3, we get here 15. Multiply the denominators, we get here 2. And 15/2 is 7 and 1/2. So 5 divided by 2/3, or how many 2/3 are there in 5? The answer is 7 and 1/2. So how do we answer this question using model? There should be 5 holes, and each hole should be divided into 3 equal parts. This is 1/3. So we need 2 parts in order to get 2/3, another 2/3, another 2/3, and so on. How many 2/3 are there in 5 holes? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 2/3, and remember that we have here an extra 1/3. And take note that this portion is just 1/2 of 2/3. Yeah, 1/2 of 2/3. So we have here 7 and 1/2 total. This is the answer. Okay. Next, number 5. Devi had 2/3 of a pizza. She cut it into equal pieces. Each piece was 1/6 of the pizza. How many equal pieces did Devi cut it into? At first, we have 2/3 of a pizza. There should be a whole pizza divided into 3 equal parts because we want to shade 2/3 of that. And then she cut it into equal pieces. Each piece was 1/6 of the pizza. Looking at this figure, there's no 1/6 yet. What we have here is 1/3. In order for us to get 1/6 of a whole, we have to divide the whole into 6 equal parts. And how do we do that? We have to subdivide each part into 2 equal parts, something like this. We have now 1/6. Okay? So the question, how many equal pieces did Devi cut it into? We have here 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. So Devi cut it into 4 equal pieces. Okay? So the problem is the same as 2/3 divided by 1/6. Or how many 1/6 are there in 2/3? How many 6 are there in 2/3? This is equal to 2/3 times 6 because dividing by 1/6 is the same as multiplying by 6. And 6 is the same as 6 over 1. Cancel out 3 and 6, you still have here 2 on top. Multiply 2 and 2 in the numerator, we have here 4. Therefore, our answer is 4. Number 6. How many quarters are there in 5 over 8? I already mentioned about the word quarter in my previous discussion in this video. Quarter is the same as 1/4. So we're going to look for the number of 1/4 or quarters there are in 5/8. Let's have this model first. This is 5/8. The whole is divided into 8 equal parts, and we're going to shade 5 of them. Okay? Next, we're going to determine the number of quarters in 5 over 8. So how do we do that? We have here, note that this is 1/4, this is 1/4, and this is also 1/4 up to here, and this is 1/4. In other words, we're going to divide the whole into 4 equal parts. We have something like this. This is 1/4 and 1/4. And just focus your attention on the shaded region. This is 1/4, this is 1/4. So we have so far 2 1/4s. And we have here extra 1. This extra 1 is 1/2 of 1/4. So our answer is 2 and 1/2. So when you divide 5/8 by 1/4 by a quarter, this is equal to 5/8 times 4, because dividing by 1/4, again, it's the same as multiplying by 4. And we can cancel out 8 and 4. You still have here 2 in the denominator. So we have here 5 over 2, and 5 over 2 is the same as 2 and 1/2. Okay? As long as you already understood how the model works in a problem, you can always use this method directly. Okay? But again, you can only use this method provided that you already have understood the use of a model in a problem. Number 7, this is our second to the last example in this video. Mary had 3/4 of a waffle. She cut it into equal pieces. Each piece was 3/8 of the waffle. How many equal pieces did she cut it into? I know that you already have an idea on how to do this. You're just going to divide 3/4 by 3/8, or how many 3/8 are there in 3/4. And this is the same as 3/4 times 8 over 3, because dividing by 3/8, that is the same as 8 multiplying by 8 over 3. You change the division sign to multiplication, and you switch the numerator and the denominator in the divisor. So we can cancel 3 out. We can also cancel 4, and the 8 here, you have here 2. So we only have number 2 on top, right? So 3/4 divided by 3/8 is 2. Or there are 2 3/8 in 3/4. Let's look at the model. This is 3/4 and we want to have 3/8. It means we have to subdivide each part into 2. So we have now a whole divided into 8 equal parts, and we want to know 3/8. Our concern or our goal here is to find the number of 3/8 there are in this shaded portion. In the shaded portion, which is 3/4. So this is 3/8. This is also 3/8, and there are 2 of them. That's why our answer is 2. And for the last example, how many 2/7 are there in 5/7? How many 2/7 are there in 5/7? So we have 5/7. We're going to divide this by 2/7. And this is equal to 5/7 times 7/2, because again, dividing by 2/7 is the same as multiplying by 7/2. We can cancel 7 out. So we're left with 5/2, or this is the same as 2 1/2. Okay? So there are 2 1/2, 2/7 in 5/7. And I think I don't have to show the model in this problem because I'm pretty sure that you already have an idea on how the model of this problem would look like. Okay, that's it, grade 6. And I hope you learned something from this video. It's quite long. And yeah, that's it for now. And see you in my next videos. Bye.